Hi, everyone. This is Miranda with the Valuable Voices podcast. Thanks for listening. I have a Chicago friend here with me that I met online. I'm super excited to introduce you guys. Cheryl, thanks for being on.
This is awesome, Miranda. Thank you.
Yay. So, yeah, I know you've got a couple novels. I can't wait to hear your story. So, let's just dive right in. Kind of take us back to, again, why write the book, how you grew up. I know you have a lot to share. So, go ahead, go for it.
Yes. Super excited. Yes. So I'm going to share the cover. So this is it. This is Stay With Me.
Love it. So pretty.
Right. It is.
Congratulations. Love it. That makes me want to pull up next to the fire and read it.
Thank you. Yes. Yes. And so yeah, the journey into writing. I always loved writing stories as a little girl, but I put it away really when I started coming to church as a 18-year-old and learning about Jesus. I wanted to dedicate that time to getting to know Jesus.
Yeah.
And my mentors really helped me with that too. And then, but I didn't start writing until the birth of my second son. And it was a second high-risk pregnancy. And I didn't understand how this happened again. I think childbirth is really a rite of passage to begin with. Sure. I think so. But yeah, so it was the first time though that I really came to God with the hard questions. That why do things not work out? Why is it not simple? Because you hear some of these testimonies of wonderful healing, and I totally believe it. Yeah. I totally believe that happens, but we don't hear the stories of we didn't get healed, and yet God is glorified.
Yeah.
I wish we could hear those stories more.
That's really good. I love that.
Yeah. So anyway, that was the beginning of my journey. So Silas, my second born, was just a couple months old, and I just started writing feverishly. And I wrote this novel. It was messy, and it was I just poured everything out because writing is so therapeutic.
I'm sure.
And yeah, and it was just the beginning. It was just the beginning. After that, I just kept writing, and I wasn't writing to publish. I was just writing for myself, just trying to get it out. And the great thing about fiction is that I can take these characters and put them through really, really hard situations, worse than I've ever been. And I can orchestrate it that they can figure out how to navigate and learn about God. And meanwhile, I learned too. Yeah. And so that it was great. I never really got into journaling. that's my form of journaling.
I love that. Everybody has a gift, whether that's journaling. Sometimes for me, it's going for a walk outside. Some people like to write. I love that there's all these different outlets that we can kind of get our thoughts out, get therapy. Like you said, it's therapeutic.
Yes. Miranda, I'm so glad you understand, because people ask me why I write. When do I find time to write? Because I work part-time and I homeschool, and life is very busy. I'm like, but you have time to breathe, don't you? And that's how I write. that's my therapy.
And as a mom, I think a lot of us pour so much into our kids, we forget to take care of ourselves, when actually we're a better mom, I believe, when we take care of ourselves, because then we can care for others too. So
absolutely. Oh yeah, self-care.
Yes.
So important. Right. So yeah, so that was just the beginning. So this was 7 years ago. My second son is almost 7. So yeah, I just started writing, and it was nice. It was fun, but I wasn't really like doing what I wasn't really coming to God himself. I was just kind of trying to find some platitudes, I think, just to get through my discouragement.
Yeah.
And right. Because like I said, I was mad at God, and I couldn't really pray, but I found a way to communicate. But I think God wanted me to get closer to him.
Always, right?
Yeah.
Little tap, like, hey, I'm here.
Right. Yes. And then but I think in life we kind of, it feels uncomfortable to come to God, and so we don't.
Yeah.
we find another way to be like, well, yeah, I'm listening to you, God, but I'm going to be over here because
Yeah.
it's more
We're
comfortable.
believing, do I really hear you? Can I really trust you? Yeah. It's
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to say it, but it takes work, just like any relationship, right?
Yes, right. Actually, that's the thing, because the whole part of healing is you kind of have to open up that wound.
Yeah.
And that hurts so much. And I think I wasn't willing to do that. I was still going to church, and like the messages were like, this is what you're supposed to do. And if you do this, you'll receive the blessing. And I'm like, and inside I was just dying. I'm like, well, I'm not. And
Yeah.
so what am I doing wrong? But I wasn't asking those questions to God. I
Mhm.
wasn't really coming to God. So anyways, so meanwhile, so I was doing the writing thing, and I did a little writing for church, and that was nice. I got some encouragement from that, from the people I was writing to. It was a little bit of a newsletter for American chapters, but then the church I belonged to said, well, actually, you can't do it because you're not staff. You're not working for us. So what I should have done, right? What I could have done is kind of gone the other way, where, okay, now I have an idea, submit like an application, but I was just frustrated, and so yeah, so I figured out what I was going to do. I kept my little short stories going, and then and I think I was a little bit hurt by that too, that it wasn't like, it wasn't such an open door. Like, I didn't want to climb through hoops
Right.
to write for
You
the
just wanted
church.
to share your gift. Again, you were getting encouragement from some, and then maybe others were saying, hey, you need to do this. Yeah. I mean, I think anybody would be hurt like that for that. I would also,
Yes.
I would feel rejected probably.
Yeah. And now I have the privilege of looking back, right? Because in the
Exactly.
moment, right? Yeah, in the moment, kind of like it just hurts, and it just kind of opened that wound of, well, if I'm doing something good for God, it should be very easy to
Right.
continue. And I think it hurt me like that. I was just super sensitive to that.
Sure.
Yeah, and I think so. Yeah, I could have, taken that moment to come to God and say, okay, this isn't working. This isn't healing. This is avoiding the issue. But I didn't. And so instead, what I did, I closed up. All right. Because at church, there are, if there are no excuses, you can serve.
Sure.
There's a lot of ways to serve it. Yeah, you have to be a little bit vulnerable, and you have to stick your neck out. And that does it. If you're already hurting,
Yeah.
like I was, I couldn't do it.
I feel like that was your offer to serve, and they kind of turned you down and said, no, thank you. So again, I'm sure that was hurtful for sure.
Yes, right. And that's the truth. Churches are not perfect,
No.
because they're made of sinners, people who are broken also, and they have their own things going on, right? You don't know what those, the pastors and the staff, what their wounds they have,
Right.
from their own past experiences in church.
Yeah.
But you know what? God is in control, and he saw that, and he was there. And I should have gone home and praised God or prayed to God, and I didn't. Like I said, I closed myself off, and I said, okay, I'm not volunteering anymore. They know I'm a writer, right? They can come to me. So December of 2017, so more like, I guess, November 2017, it was Christmas worship service preparation time. And it's a huge deal, right? The big service, the orchestra, the chorus, and the message, of course. And there's usually a drama, a skit. And I've acted in that before when I was in college, years before this. And it's a great opportunity to serve God. But anyway, so I'm closed off. I'm not participating. I'm not even doing chorus, which is kind of huge. And so then there was this strange thing happened where on Sundays, they started asking for volunteers to write the drama script. And I don't know about other churches, but that's a huge deal. like to be on the program and to be like, I wrote this, you know?
Absolutely.
It's almost like a second message. It's really, it's one of the top 5 things you could ever do for the church. And my heart was beating so fast. I'm like, no, I am not. I'm not going through this again. No way. I know exactly what's going to happen. I'm going to get hurt again. I'm going to be rejected again. I'm not going to do it. And so I listened to that week after week. We need someone to write the skit for us. I'm like, nope, not me. They know who I am. I'm here. That's a little bit proud too. They don't
Again,
really.
I'm sure there's frustration. Like, no, they know I'm a writer. If they want me to write for them, they'll come to me, right?
Yeah, Miranda, I'm so glad that you understand. Right? It's this stuff that goes in our mind. And my friend, her husband is an elder, and they were driving us home from a meeting one night, and he said that he was kind of venting, and he was saying how they had a disagreement in a meeting at church, that no one is stepping up to write this drama. And so my friend, he said, you know what, then I will write it. My mentor's friend, my mentor's husband. And I was thinking, there is no way. He's not going to be able to. He was just saying that in the heat of the moment, right? Kind of like, let's just end this conversation now, sort of thing. And I'm like, you know what? I can write the drama. I can write the script. I've been wanting to do this for years. Yeah, but I've always been too young or something or other, and it never worked. Oh my, if I had that opportunity. And he's like, yeah, sure. And then I told him, but there's one condition. You have to put your name on it. You have to be the one to submit it to the pastors, to the staff, to the elders, because I don't want to be hurt.
Yeah.
Right. So he said, absolutely, I will hand deliver it. I will put my name on it. And all right. So I went home and I told God, I am not going to write anything for a whole week, 7 days. Nope. I'm just going to read the passage. I'm going to pray. And this is going to be totally God-led.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get in front of this. Yeah. Because I was really nervous about getting hurt again.
And you probably felt like if you control it the way you've done in the past, it may not go the right way. So I love that. Like, hey, Lord, you show me, you tell me what to do.
Right. Yeah. Because that whole newsletter thing, I did it the wrong way. I should have gone to them first. And yeah, that didn't work out well. And like, I'm not doing that again. So anyway, so that night, I was reading the passages from John chapter 1. The word became flesh, a beautiful passage, incarnation. And usually we don't think about that at Christmas. So what an opportunity. And like, and I hadn't thought of any ideas. I was just reading and just letting the Holy Spirit work and, go to bed. And, tomorrow I'll read it again, right? Maybe I'll memorize it, something like that. Uh-huh. And that night I had this, the storyline just come streaming through my head. And, when that happens, you can't stop it. Yeah. And you can't sleep either until you write it down. And I'm like, no, but I'm not writing today. God, you have to stop this because I'm going to make sure it's not from me. It's got to be from God. Yeah. Right. Because if God is for me, who can be against us? Right. That's what the Bible says. And anyway, but it kept coming. I'm like, this must be inspiration from God. So I got up and I wrote it and I finished it that night. 4 hours worth. And I want to tell you the storyline. So the storyline was just a pastor had a heart for prisoners and he wanted to share the gospel with prisoners. And he tried several things. He visited them. When that didn't work, he decided he's going to work at the prison. And when that didn't work, he decided I'll make a little crime, so I'm arrested, and then I can live with them and share the gospel that way. I know this is very fictional story, but so
I love it.
Yeah, just to share what it is. Anyway, so this pastor, he's living with these prisoners, and he's like, I don't really like this. This isn't, this isn't even working. No one's listening to me still, right? Because I can imagine. Yeah. Anyway, so he's trying to get out of prison. That's not happening. And but then he starts just sharing the gospel with one other prisoner. And this pastor himself realizes what Christmas is all about, that Jesus left his throne in heaven to come live with stinky, sinful human beings and lived with them, loved them, healed them, took care of them.
Wow.
33 years, right? We only see the snapshot for those 3 years of everything he did, but I mean, yeah. And so yeah, he learned the meaning of Christmas. Anyway, that was the story. I loved it. And so I printed it out. I gave it to my friend and he read it and he gave the approval to. I'm like, this has to be from God. Well, it is. It absolutely is.
Yeah.
And yeah, so he gave it to the elders or whoever was doing the drama. And that Sunday, of course, they just got it. So they gave the call again for volunteers for the script. And then the following week, they gave the call again. We need volunteers to write a script for us, for our drama, for Christmas. Okay, maybe they just need more. Maybe they need, they want to choose. And I didn't think too much of it then. And then the following week, again, they asked for volunteers for someone to write the script for a drama. And then I'm like, either, obviously they got it because my friend gave it to them. But what's going on, right? So I talked to my friend and he was wondering too. That sent up red flags too, if he doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Right. So then he asked, and that day I found out that it was rejected. That yeah. They actually they said it was too long. I'm like, okay, well, I can shorten it.
Yeah.
Give me a chance. I didn't know, usually we had kind of lengthy productions, but I could shorten it. And then he said, yeah, and we're not really prison ministry either. I'm like, okay, well, I could change that too. And he's like, maybe next year. I'm like, give me a chance. Anyway, yeah. So I went home, I cried a lot. But what I was really hurt about was, but this was all God led. What's going on, right?
Yeah.
I told you, yeah. And because I think it started with the birth of my second son, where I'm like, this doesn't make sense. But here, this was the brick wall. This was, I can't move any further. Where if I don't figure out who God is, then what am I going to do? Like, how can I believe?
Yeah, so many questions. We've all been there.
Yeah, yes. And I think a lot of people go through these things, but yeah, and I'm really excited that I did get past it. That I did ask God what those questions were. And I think like telling other people about this story, it's like my ministry, that it just because God says no doesn't mean he doesn't love you so much. Yeah. I have a saying that I came to me a little while after that when God says no, he hear the whisper, come know me. Because actually the best blessing of all is to come and know God.
Yeah. Amen.
So much more. And I think it's even more of a blessing when he shuts all those doors and says, nope, I'm going to stop you right here before you go any farther.
Yeah. And we don't understand, especially in the moment. Now you can look back and reflect and see it. But, that's kind of why I'm doing this, the valuable voices. There's so many voices out there. And I know I look to others to validate me. If somebody else says whatever about me, I believe it. And it's like, no, he is really the only one that can tell us. And it's a daily practice. It's not like we all have it figured out, but I think that's powerful. And I love that you shared that and you kept going and now you've published, so what made you decide to publish?
Yes, because that was back in 2017. So yeah, I kept writing. I kept to myself, actually even more probably. Yeah, what did happen? Right after that is a blank. But I know that in 2018, summer of 2018, I went to my first writing conference in Chicago, where I was like, I'm going to publish that book I wrote several years ago. Yeah. And I haven't published it yet. It needs work. But when I was there, while I was there, and I had my business cards. I was so excited. I had a meeting with one of the agents. It was canceled, actually. I couldn't even do it. So I was free as a bird. I was so relaxed. But one gentleman asked, why do you write Christian stories?
Mm-hmm.
Why not just secular? And it just dawned on me. I'm like, why wouldn't I write Christian stories? That's what I'm thinking about. That's what I'm struggling with. And that's what I believe in. And that it gave me a level. It gave me a level up, that affirmation, right? That kind of like, I'm doing this for a purpose.
Yep.
Yeah, because Christ is King. He is Lord. And even if I'm mad at him, that's still true. Right. I think, the close families, we argue.
Yeah. So. And again, you're not alone in that. So to even be able to get that out and to write fiction about it, asking the questions, why didn't this happen? And he's good no matter what. Again, it's hard to see sometimes during, but after the fact, you can kind of look back. So I'm super excited to dive in. Tell us where we can find you. I know you're on Amazon and all over the place, but tell us your website and again, show us your book again, because I think it's beautiful.
Yeah, thank you. Yes. Yes.
That looks awesome.
Yeah.
And I know you have an ebook on your website people can download as well.
That's right. And here's the cover for that one. Different couple return to me. Yes. So I have a website and I have lots of consonants in my last name. So I'm sure you'll copy and paste and find that CherylKramarczyk.com. Yes. And you get the whole novella for signing up for the newsletter. And my newsletter is me talking about my stuff I'm thinking about. The faith is not simple.
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah, but it's such a beautiful journey because we do get to know God better. And God is so glorious and so good. Yeah. I even have on my website, this is very exciting. I actually have a Valentine's story.
Oh, neat.
Yeah. And the whole concept is about God's glory.
Perfect.
And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
We'll put that website in there. I know I downloaded the book because I want to read it. So thank you for doing what you're doing. It's beautiful. It's inspiring. Again, I think we all need community, to know we're not alone. Confirmation. So your beautiful story, beautiful woman. And just thank you for doing what you're doing. I love it. I love the way you're using your gifts to bring God glory. So
yes, for the glory of God. Thank you, Miranda. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you for being on. Thanks everyone for listening and have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.